Hi everyone, today we're going to be looking at all three forms of our linear equations. We have looked at our linear equations in the past, so we're going to just do kind of a review of all of them and figure out which one makes the most sense in certain situations. Going back to our learning goals and scales, yesterday we talked about properties. We could determine what happens if we change the slope, and then what happens if we change the y-intercept. Today we're going to talk about all three forms of linear equations and apply our knowledge in certain situations. Then we're going to move into parallel and perpendicular lines. So all three forms of linear equations. Remember slope-intercept form? Y equals mx plus b, where m is our slope and b is our y-intercept. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, where x1 and y1 are an ordered pair on the line, and m is our slope. Then standard form ax plus by equals c, where a, b, and c are all integers, and a has to be positive. So let's talk about reviewing and applying each of these forms. Find the standard form of equation that goes through points -2, 10, and 1, 1. Well, what do you think would be the easiest thing to do first here? Well, we need our slope, so I need to start from that. So let's do, as we like to say, keep our eyes on our y's. Let's look at our y's first because they go on top. So 10 minus 1 over -2 minus 1. Remember, since I started with the 10 on the top, I have to start with the -2 on the bottom. I will get 9 over -3, which I can then simplify to just plain -3. That's my m. That's my slope. Now, since I have points and I have a slope, the point-slope form is the easiest thing to do. So, if I want to do that, I would say y minus, and I can use either point. I'm going to use ones because I like ones. 1 equals my slope, -3, times x minus 1. Remember, we're shooting for standard form. I have point-slope form now, so I'm not anywhere near done yet. Let's feed the birds. I have -3x, and -3 times -1 will be plus +3. And I still have y minus 1 on this side. But for standard form, I want to have my x's and y's on one side and my constants on the other. So let's move my -1, adding 1 to both sides. Now I have y equals -3x plus 4. I am almost done. Now my last step, I got to get that -3 from here, move it over here. And I will do that by adding 3x to both sides. When I do that, now I have a positive 3x. So my a term is positive. I like that. So I have 3x plus y equals 4. Now it is in standard form, and everything is good. Okay, my second one, find the x and y intercepts. Well, if I'm finding intercepts, I want to have it again in standard form. Feed the birds. -1/2 times x is -1/2 x. Negative times positive is a negative. Half of 2 is 1. I still have y minus 4 on this side. Next step, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And I get y equals negative 1/2 x plus 3. I'm going to stop there for a minute because as soon as I have that, remember this is slope-intercept form. And what intercept is it? It's my y-intercept. So I actually know my y-intercept at this point. My y-intercept is going to be 3. But let's keep going, get it in standard form. I need to add 1/2 x to both sides. I'm also going to have to write over on the side a little bit because I'm running out of room. This cancels out here. And I'm left with 1/2 x. I said I'm moving over here so I have room. Plus y equals 3. Last step, I can't have this fraction, so I'm going to need to multiply everything by that denominator, or 2. And I get x plus 2y equals 6. Now remember, to find my x-intercept, I make my y 0. If I made this y 0, this would go away, and I'd be left with x equals 6. So my x-intercept is 6. For my y-intercept, I'd make my x 0, so I'd be left with 2y equals 6. And then I divide both sides by 2. And I would get y equals 3, which we already knew, because when we had it in slope-intercept form, we knew that our y-intercept was 3. But I thought I'd show you just so you could see that I wasn't making stuff up, that's true. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay, so find the standard form equation that goes through these points. Again, I just did that, so I don't need to do that again. Those are the 2 things I just did. I think. Yeah, just wanted to verify. So let's look at our third example. I have a line that has an x-intercept of negative 3 and a y-intercept of 6. What is the equation in slope-intercept form? Well, that's an interesting question. I can get the x and y intercepts from standard form, but I can't really write from standard form without going through another form first. Now, if I have it's a slope-intercept form, so I want it in y equals mx plus b, right? The first thing I know is I already know my b. My b is right here. It's my y-intercept. So I'm getting close. I have y equals some number, my slope, times x, plus b, and b is 6. So what can I use? How can I use this information to figure out my slope? Well, these are actually 2 points. My y-intercept is 0, 6. Because for y-intercept, my x is 0. And this is also a point. Negative 3, 0. Because for my x-intercept, my y is 0. When I have 2 points, I can find a slope. Y minus y, 6, minus 0 over x, 0, minus x, which is negative 3. I have a minus a negative. That becomes a plus. So I end up with 6 over 3. Well, 6 over 3 is just 2. So my equation in slope-intercept form is y equals 2x plus 6. Now we want to change it to standard form. Well, to do that, I need to get that x from the right side and get it over to the left side. I can do that by subtracting 2x from both sides. I get negative 2x plus y equals 6. Last step, I can't have this negative here, so I'm going to multiply everything by negative 1. And I get 2x minus y. And let's make 6 there. Equals negative 6. Now I could go back and I could check this. If I made my y 0, I would have 2x equals negative 6. Divide both sides by 2, and I would have my x-intercept is negative 3. If I made my x 0, I would have negative y equals negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 1, and I would have y equals 6, which is what my y-intercept is. So I know I did it right. Mental checks are sometimes a good thing to do to make sure that you solved a problem correctly. Okay, which one shows the equation for this line? Well, what would be the best thing to do? I would be inclined to look at this and say, oh, it's in standard form. Can I find my x and my y intercepts? So if I made my x 0, I would have negative 2y equals 4. This is to find my y-intercept, so it's 0 something. Divide both sides by negative 2. And my y-intercept would be negative 2. So now that I know one of my intercepts, 0, negative 2, my y-intercept, can I check to see which of these has a negative 2 for y-intercept? Well, lo and behold, they all do. So that didn't help me that much. So what else can I do? I can find my x-intercept. For my x-intercept, my y is 0. If I make my y 0, I have x equals 4. I didn't even have to do any math. My x-intercept is positive 4. Well, let's look here. Is my x-intercept positive 4? No, it's 1, 2, 3. It looks like it's negative 3. So it's not that. And this one, is my x-intercept positive 4? 1, 2, nope. How about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like it. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one looks like it's a little low. So I would say it is this one. Now, if I wanted to really check it, I could also find my slope if I wanted to, because this slope is up 1 over 1, 2. This one is up 1 over 1, 2, 3. If I went up 1 over 1, 2, 3, I'm going to be at 6. I'm not going to be at 4. I don't really have to do that. So The only one that works is B. Could I have rewritten this in slope-intercept form? Absolutely. That would be another way to solve that. Sometimes it's whichever looks best for you. What is the equation of a horizontal line that passes through 8, -3? Well, you might remember a horizontal line is our HOI. Remember, horizontal, zero slope, and it's y equals is our equation. So we know it's going to be y equals something. Y equals, and all I have to look at is my -3. Y equals -3 would be the answer. If I were to graph that, y equals -3, I have my nice coordinate plane. It's beautiful, I know. And I would go 1, 2, 3, and it would be down here somewhere, and it would be a horizontal line that goes this way and would include 8 that would be out here somewhere, -3. It would also include 1, -3, -7, -3. Everything y would be -3. Write a standard form equation with a positive slope and a negative y-intercept. Well, that's that was pretty easy to do. I have lots of them. I could write y equals 3x, that's a positive slope, and the negative y-intercept, -5. Sure. All I have to do now to get it standard form, let's subtract 3x from both sides. I just made up this equation. You could make up your own. I get -3x. That x looks an awful lot like a y. I should fix that. Plus y equals -5. Now, one thing you'll notice, once I get my a, or my -3, to be positive by multiplying by -1, once my positive x is still positive, my y is now negative, and my what was my -5 y-intercept now is a +5. 3x minus y equals 5. Graph these equations. Find the area of the figure formed by the intersecting lines. Wow, this sounds crazy. Let's give this a try. A plus 1 equals -2/3 x minus 3. Well, let me pull my point out from here. My x will be 3. And my y, this is point slope form. Since this is minus a negative, it has to be a -1. And my slope is -2/3. So I'm going to go to 3, 1, 2, 3, -1. Do you think it's here? And my slope is -2/3, so go down 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3, or up 1, 2, and left 1, 2, 3. And I have this line here. Then I have x equals -6. Well, here's my x equals -6. That would be a line that goes just straight up and down like this. I was going to change colors, but I didn't, so I didn't click it well enough. And my y equals -5 is going to be a line that goes this way. So I think what we have going here, if I continued this, is a triangle. I go down 1, 2, and over 1, 2, 3, and I would have a point out here somewhere. And this would be 7, 8, 9. I'm just going to put a 9 here so I remember where that left off. And up here it'd still go up 1, 2, over 1, 2, 3. There'd be a point. Up 1, 2, over 1, 2, 3, and I'd have a point here. So yes, I have a nice right triangle. And if you recall, the area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. My height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. My base, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And 1/2 times that. This will tell me the area of a triangle, actually any triangle, but this is a right triangle. 15 times 10 is 150, and half of that is 75. So the area of this triangle is 75 units squared. That's kind of fun. So that's it. Have a great day.